So hey guys, we're going to be going through the cons, that's the disadvantage of actually having a master's. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're just stopping by for the first time, you're most definitely welcome. In this video, you're going to see and really reason with me as to the many different cons, as well as also some other alternatives to even having a master's. Also, by the end of the video, you would have more like an informed decision as to whether you really want to have a master's in this day and age. Stick around guys.
So the cons, that's the disadvantage. Let's talk about the cons. Life is what disadvantage fact that it is. I mean, it can really get expensive, guys. Like, I know there's a high cost of actually doing your masters, but tell me, I mean, come on, it can really get so pricey, especially for international students. Sometimes I wonder, how do you guys do it? It could get so expensive, and compared to those who are, let's say, on a very good status in the country they're applying for, it's at a very, very discounted rate, right? But for those who have to travel all the way to come to school to study, the price can be really, really high. I mean, only if you have money saved up or have plans towards how you intend to like pay the fee. I think the high cost of actually going for a degree, it's a lot of money. I mean, you can actually look into seeing ways you can get like scholarship as well to apply. I mean, I've had a lot of friends who are able to travel all the way from Nigeria even to the US, and they literally are able to like get this opportunity to study their masters free of charge, just having to work as teaching assistant for a particular professor, and they had a very, very, very good rate. I don't think they've had to pay anything. So if you're really considering whether or not you should actually get a master's, one of the main things you also take into consideration is the high cost of actually having to study for real as well too. Then we just spoke about the elephant in the room, which is a high cost. Now we're going to go to the second point of maybe a disadvantage, but this is the time commitment. For some of us, it's a lot of time. I will tell you honestly, like I literally did not have my evenings to myself. After work, I had to think about my master's courses. I had to think about the assignments, the deadline I had to work with. It was time consuming. Almost felt like my evenings were not my own. So I had to intentionally create time for other things that actually mattered to me. But if that's not a huge factor to you, by all means, please, the time constraint may not be a concern, so you may actually decide or think of still going ahead to do your master. But for me, the time commitment was a lot, but at the end, was it worth it? It was worth it, guys. It was worth it. So whether or not you have to spend 2 years or 1 year to get your master's, it's actually up to you to decide whether it's something you want to look into sacrificing for a master's degree. But personally, for me, I think it's worth it, guys. It is worth it. I mean, I have my degree already, so you should actually consider having it, even if it's the time commitment is actually a con. Then the third point is also the fact that it may not really be necessary for everyone. I mean, I am telling you the truth. A lot of people at the end of it all may really not use their master's degree for anything. I can honestly bank on that. Most recruiters do not really want to see you. Most recruiters are not really so concerned about your degree, but rather more concerned about your experience. I've seen that happen time and time again. You know, I've been in the job market for quite a while, and I've seen how that most times is your experience. Does your experience make you stand out? That's really what matters. And sometimes it's even just beyond your technical skills or your degrees. It's also about what's your soft skill like when it comes to teamwork. What's your soft skill like when it comes to collaboration? What's your soft skill like when it comes to communication as well too? So a master's may really not be for everyone, honestly. It just may not. It actually may not. So if you're considering it, you may want to think twice about it. You may eventually decide to even have your startup as well to build your own business, right? And your master's may not really be relevant for that kind of venture. So you may want to think about it and wait, like, is this something I need right now? I know a number of people that don't have their masters and they're still doing well in their field. So I mean, think about it, like think about whether is it necessary at this time. Do you really want to do it, or do you want to do it because everyone are having it, right? So having access to it. So have that thought, consider it, and if it's not something for you, by all means, please don't do your masters. Okay, don't do it if it's not something that you're looking to like use eventually, pretty much. Oh, and just as a fun point, it can really get too academic. Sometimes, or even most times, right, the master's degree can get so academic such that it is all theoretical and no practicality in it. I mean, I remember one of my projects, one of my courses, big data tools. They're teaching about different big data tools that I can use for automate your pipeline, for ETL process and all. And I had to ask, Prof, sir, please, do you know about DBT? And then it felt like it was, DBT generally is a new tool for the whole ETL process, but he wasn't really not aware about it, of which granted, it's okay if you don't know about it because it's pretty much a new tool. It can get so academic such that there are some relevant, professional, in-demand tools that some of your prof may not know about, but because they're still in the academia route, it's almost like the same thing that's been taught over and over again. But the good thing is some schools, or rather the school I also attended, was also had like a very good all-round, like in terms of like understanding the different tools that was being used in the big data space, right? And eventually, when we progress in our learning, we was able to identify like that tool as well, as we're teaching, as it was teaching us. So what I'm trying to say is that you may tend to run the risks of being too in the academic space or having the academia experience rather than having the professional experience. So that's why you have to understand or find out from yourself, do you really want to go through the academia route or do you want to go through the professional route? When you're able to determine that, they can decide to choose whether or not you want to do your master's or you do not want to do your master's. So you may be wondering, after all has been said and done, Chinwe, what's the alternate route? What about if I do not want to do a master's? What do you suggest? Okay, so this is what I suggest, right? So yes, you're thinking of doing your master's, but you're like, do I really have the money to buy master's? Is it worth my time? So come closer. Come a bit closer. Let me tell you what you can do. So you can decide to actually enroll to boot camps. There are quite a number of good boot camps like here in Canada that also have the promise of giving you or matching you to a potential company when you're done with your boot camp. And you also are able to learn not just academic in terms of like the tools used and just like theoretical, but you're able to apply to the job, apply your knowledge on the job as well, because you may work on projects in alignment to the job where they want to match you to. So you may actually consider going for a boot camp because it's. And some of these bootcamp, now that I'm thinking about it, are maybe pretty cheaper. It depends, or sometimes when you compare the cost, it's literally almost the same cost you may pay just to even do your master's as well too. So if you're still considering it, maybe a bootcamp could be an alternative to not having a master's. Think about it, but ultimately it's your choice, okay? Another alternative is actually going through the self-study route through online courses or even like some paid courses that is worth $12. You don't have quite a number of good courses, but it doesn't guarantee that you would also have like that MSc degree against your name. So you might want to think about it, right? Because you actually have quite a plethora of courses out there. YouTube, for one, is one of those platforms where you can learn almost anything for free without having to pay quite an amount of money and also investing so much time just to learn it. So I would say that you can take advantage of the many free online courses out there and just use it to actually improve your skills on a particular niche you want to go into in this space of data or even in IT generally. So if you think this is something that you may want to consider if you don't want to go for your master's, then yes, I would also like put a list of different online platforms where you can learn. I mean, space of data science analytics, I can recommend quite a lot. There's Udemy, there's Enterprise DNA, there's Coursera, there's EDX, there's Udacity, guys. There's quite a number of all these courses out there that you just have to pay little money, just like get the skills or the knowledge that you actually need for this. So now let's talk about the fourth point, which is literally also the last point as well. So as a different alternative you can look into. The fourth point is just building your work experience or your portfolio, just even breaking the space. So I always say that in the space of data and analytics, you pretty much are able to apply this knowledge in any industry you find yourself. Even if you're even in the customer experience space, think about how you can use that skill as a customer success specialist and applying your knowledge of what you've learned probably in any course to improving the insight you have to derive from, let's say, from your clients or your customers when they give you feedback. So one of such instances is there are different CX tools out there, or I mean management systems that actually help you to process or process the response or the feedback you have to give to your customers when they probably log a complaint. And for example, one of such is Zendex, right? And if you're able to see the escalation time when a particular report or a particular complaint was actually sent and the time of resolution as well too. These are ways you can think about what was the time from when a complaint was made to resolution time. And this will tell you how you can apply your analytical skills in this space of being a customer success agent or a customer success specialist and apply that data analytics skill set you have into this field. Also, there are also, for example, let's say you're even UI UX design. I'm just giving like different scenarios how you can actually apply your knowledge and build relevant work experience even in that particular space you're in. So for example, you design different platforms, let's say mobile or even like in the web, your web apps as well too. And you want, I mean, the whole point of you being a UI UX designer is to improve the user interface, the experience as well too from start to finish. So you work at a fintech company, for example, and you're building some of these screens as well. For a fintech company, like I would say, the eventual outcome is to transact on your platform. I mean, that will show good inflow and outflow for people who actually use your app. As a UI UX designer, what was the process? So what was the customer funnel from people who had to onboard on the platform by, let's say, download the application, to eventually signing up, to eventually then maybe getting their verification accurate, and then coming on board, putting their details, coming on board to eventually transact on the platform. What was the whole user experience like? Was there a drop of customers along the way as well too? Was it that the UI screen didn't have a good experience for them, so that they dropped off along the way, meaning that there was a customer funnel that you can actually build from start to eventually transacting? So there are a lot of ways you can actually apply your data analytics skill set on any job you find yourself in, right? So these are some scenarios I've actually brought for just for those people who are looking for alternative to also break into this space without a master's. So you may really want to consider it in that space that you're in that work you're in. You definitely can apply data analytics into it. But like, trust me, you can. Okay, so if masters is not for you, or you're looking not to, think about like your work experience, build portfolios that show your skills as well too, and hone on that skill such that you're so good at it that you can also apply on a real world project pretty much. So yeah, that brings me to the end of the different alternatives you can actually take just to break into the space of data analytics without a master's. So now the question is, who should actually do a master's? I would say if you really want to focus on research, like if you want to specialize in a particular field, or if you want to work in the academia, I would also like suggest that you actually consider having a master's, because these are one of the degrees they actually look into and they would like for you to have if you're looking to work in the academia. And also some big government companies, like, they have it as one of the many requirements as well too, if you'd want to actually apply for like all those big roles in government or in high parastatals in any country you find yourself in. So you may want to consider actually having a master's for the purpose of these roles that you may want, that you look to getting into eventually. So yes, if you want to go into research, you want to specialize in a particular field, you want to specialize in NLP, in eye vision, in computer vision, in predicting, in forecasting, in determining different application of data science in different fields, let's say in the healthcare, in the educational system, in whatever industry you find yourself, and you really want to like dive deep, you may want to actually consider going to a master's, because there are a lot of specialization in which you can apply that knowledge just to get the best outcomes because of your research knowledge in that particular field. So if you want to go into working for academia eventually, like being a professor, it's a good one. It's a good one you actually have a master's degree. Secondly, for my non-traditional boys and girls, those who do not have a degree in computer science, or people who are coming from a non-traditional background, like if you're a lawyer or an accountant, or you probably have not dabbled into the space of computer, I would just advise that it's good to just have that degree as well too. I mean, it will help you further hone the interest as well, and not just having it at a surface level by just watching these YouTube videos or online courses, because you're able to see how it's been applied like in a theoretical way, and you also can translate it even on the job as well too. So if you think, or if you actually do not have that traditional tech CS background, I would honestly advise that you look into actually getting a master's degree. At the end of it all, having a master's degree is still worth it. Regardless of whatever anybody tells you, it's actually still worth it that you actually do have a master's degree. So for non-traditional girlies and boys and girls out there, or professionals, you may want to actually consider having a master's in a particular, you may want to consider actually having a master's in the computer field or in the IT space if you're coming from a non-traditional background. Okay, now the very third reason why I should actually apply for a master's is if you really want to work in top tech companies. Now this is subjective, guys, hear me out. There's some schools that actually do offer this recruitment pipeline for those who have graduated from high or top schools in the country. So I know here in Canada, University of Waterloo actually have that pipeline with like some big companies here in Canada, such that even when they're recruiting, they would explicitly state in their job portal that you're a graduate from a particular school, you're a graduate from University of Waterloo. So it means that they've actually had partnership with this school such that upon graduation, or even when they are looking for their co-op as well too, they're able to match this student from that school to their job in all these tech companies, right? So you may also want to consider having a master's if you want to look into applying to top tech companies, but it doesn't mean that you have to have a master's to get a job in a top tech companies. Please, there are two different things entirely, right? But if you really want to have a seamless way such that after school in a good school, after you get your master's in a good school, you can eventually be among the recruitment pipeline such that you can eventually apply to your big companies like your bank, your Facebook, your Meta, your Amazon, your Netflix, or your Google, right? All the schools actually have a good recruitment pipeline for their students. And I know of so many people in the US who, as a result of schooling in a particular university, they are working in a pretty decent place. Okay, so really and truly, having a master's is actually a very good one, not just for the degree itself or for bragging rights or for credibility sake, but also because eventually it just improves your chance overall to actually get whatever role you want to apply for. For me personally, the master's degree was actually worth it. I'm not that person that would tell you, oh no, don't take it, don't do it. Nah. If I actually did it, I would also encourage you as well to also apply for your master's as well too. And that's my personal advice. If you're opportune to be in a position where you can actually take your master's, please grab the opportunity right now, even when you're young, to go for your master's. Get that degree, have that MSc. Please, there are a lot of people that have a bachelor's degree, but just to have like an edge in terms of other applications, you may want to consider actually getting your master's degree. So I really hope that the points I have given you so far has really helped maybe change the way you think about a master's. It's actually important. It's worth it. It's actually worth the time. It's worth the resource. It's worth the opportunities. It's worth the networking opportunities as well. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for joining, and please ensure to like, share, and also, you know what, subscribe as well. So until next time, have a great day. Bye guys.